I'm a fool. I spent years studying the workings of the heart. Yet it seems I still haven't learned a thing. The process of encoding hearts is incalculable. The inhabitants of my twilight town were data created from real hearts. I was convinced that they would think and behave the way I had envisioned, but I couldn't have been more wrong. A heart is so much more than any system. I saw it when Roxas and Kyrie crossed paths. I knew, but I was too stubborn to accept it. It's always the same. I try to wrap my mind around things my heart already knows, only to fail. I had so many plans in store, but once Sora was an acting force, they fell apart. All my research amounted to nothing compared with that one boy's heart. Have your laugh. I deserve as much for failing to see you for the fool you are. They are not foolish apprentice of a foolish man. My disregard brought chaos to more worlds than one. But what were you seeking? You have surpassed nothing. Only proved how little we both know. We may profess to know the heart, but its essence is beyond our reach. We're both ignorant, as oblivious as when we began. I'm afraid that any world you try to create, any world of yours, would be an empire of ignorance. I had so many plans in store, but once Sora was an acting force, they fell apart. All my research amounted to nothing compared with that one boy's heart.
Perhaps I wanted to atone for events of the past, even if no apology can undo the harm I have wrought. I felt that I ought to leave at least something behind. A clue, I hope, to finding yourselves or your lost friends in your hour of need. The heart has always been quick to grow. Each exposure to light, to the natural world, to other people, shapes this most malleable part inside of us. Sora was the only one able to return to his human form without destroying his nobody. That is a statement to the love in his heart for other people and the bonds that tie them together. Perhaps he has the power to bring back the hearts and existences of those connected to him, to recreate people we thought were lost to us forever. He has touched countless hearts, and he has saved them. And some of those hearts have never left him, whether they fell into darkness or were trapped there, whether they sleep in the darkness of Sora's heart, or were welcomed into its warmth. They can be saved.
I had so many plans in store, but once Sora was an acting force, they fell apart. All my research amounted to nothing compared with that one boy's heart. So many plans in store, but once Sora was an acting force, they fell apart. All my research amounted to nothing compared with that one boy's heart.
Our most precious treasures, even an empty puppet, the trees of the forest, and the petals on the wind. There are hearts around us everywhere we look. And it does not take superhuman powers to see them. Surely we remember as children the way our hearts made everything seem so shiny and perfect. Sora has a heart like that, uncorrupted, willing to see the good before the bad. When he sees the heart in something, it then becomes real. When a connection seems broken, he may have the power to mend it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Landy Lodge. We've got another great episode for you today with an awesome guest. But first, we got to thank everybody who makes it possible. The amazing people, the amazing sages of the lodge you see up on your screen right here. If you want to become a sage of the lodge, you can become a YouTube channel member. There's a link to donate directly in the description. But as I always say to you guys, I'm just happy you're here to hang out. I'm just happy you're here to chat. Last episode was an absolute wild one. We showed off a few new features in the lodge. We won't be having any real fancy transitions when we have guests in. That's going to be mostly reserved for solo episodes. But the highlighted chat will be used today. I forgot to configure it in the pre-run, so I'll throw it in mid-episode. But anyway, let me introduce today's amazing guest, none other than the great, the legend, LanzofMasters himself. Lanz, my friend, what is going on?
What's good? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, my man. It's a beautiful day to be alive, a beautiful day to be a Kingdom Hearts fan. And I'm excited to get into it.
Every day is.
Every day is. Every day is. So, but before we really get rolling here, Lanz, do you want to maybe just give the people an idea of who you are, what you do, where they can find you, and then we'll get rolling on Ava?
Absolutely. So, what's going on, everybody? I'm Lanz, and I'm a master, and I primarily make Kingdom Hearts content. I'm mostly known for my Kingdom Hearts challenge runs, but I also enjoy Final Fantasy and Pokemon. But after I finish Final Fantasy 16, that's what we're playing on Twix right now. The channel will go into a more focused Kingdom Hearts direction, and I'll also be celebrating 4 years of Twix affiliate, January 27th at noon. It's on a Saturday. Very exciting, and I can't wait to celebrate. I can't wait to talk about Master Ava with you.
Dude, it's going to be wild. If you're looking to follow Lanz, follow him on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You get a different facet of this amazing human being on each platform. I've got all the links in the description to check it out. And as if today wasn't going to be wild enough, Will's Word kicking us off with 20 gifted memberships on YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even think that feature's 20 days old. Will, you madman. You madman. Umbra, who's the best mod in the game. Can we get a shout out for Will as well? Holy.
Yeah,
What a way to begin.
I subscribed to Will about a month ago. He makes some good content.
He's got I'm jealous of his voice. He's got a radio voice, that guy. All right. But anyway, look, Lanz, you came to me about this. Yeah, I feel like once in a while you drop into my texts with a new Kingdom Hearts theory or new perspective. But what I've noticed is Ava and Luxu in particular seem to be on your mind quite a bit. So what in particular really spurred this forward?
So I remember you mentioned forever ago that you believe that after they quest Keyblades to kick off the Keyblade War, you believe in a scene that we haven't seen yet. You believe that they struck a deal.
I think
I agree with that. I think that's. I think after that scene, they know what each other are going to do after that.
It's a very strange encounter between the two of them because we know they clash. We know the war starts, but we don't know how that ends, right? I've heard some theories that Luxu wins the fight and Ava is the true dandelion that he puts into the pod. I'm not completely sold on that, but that's one of the perspectives that I've heard. But I'm willing to think
I'm not sold on that either.
Yeah,
I'm not sold on that either.
I think I think it's very possible they struck a deal because I think this is Luxu's thing. I think this is kind of becoming his thing. He's almost like he's going out dishing out Faustian deals, making deals with Brain, making deals with Ava. I don't know. This is kind of how I'm seeing this character operate. It's weird because Ava was nowhere to be seen in the Dark Seeker saga. She was not trying to be a disruptor for Luxu, which leads me to believe, like, however this encounter ended, either Luxu completely subdued Ava or they struck a deal. I really don't see any in between.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of popular theories about Ava over the years. And I'm a believer in one of them, actually. I'm a believer in one of them.
What do you buy into? Which Ava theory are you buying into?
So before we get into that,
okay.
I want to pull up. This is off topic. This is a little bit off topic, but it's relevant. You want to pull up the picture I sent of the hooded figure and Stelexia in Daybreak Town?
Let me pull it up. Strelitzia and the hooded figure. You got it. You got it. Switch it up. Okay, let me position this. Perfect. Okay. So what are you cooking on this?
Okay, we see Stelexia. They're walking together, but that doesn't look like. When I see Stelexia there, that does not look like somebody against their will. Like in the next photo, I want you to show. I want you to show the photo of Luxu carrying the white cloth.
Oh boy. I don't think I have that one pulled up. One sec. Let me see. First things first. Let's put us back this way. Okay. You sent me the one of him carrying?
Let me see if I did. I probably said I did. I know in this call I did, but I probably said I did on Twitter. If I didn't, I can send it.
Let me see
to you real quick.
Yeah, because the last one I have from you.
I did not.
Yeah, the last one I have from you is of Ava and Kyrie's grandmother. But I guess, are you insinuating that the master and
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm chilling.
Okay, I sent it.
Okay. Let me get this so I can pull it up. Perfect. Okay. Let's get this in there. Okay. Pull this over here. Interesting.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. It's just sent to me as like...
Okay.
Yeah. 1 second. Here we go. I could do it like this. I'll make it work. Let's pull this over here. Let's pull this up. Okay. Pulled up in all its glory.
Okay. So, to me, a popular theory is that a lot of people think that's Stelexia that Luxu is carrying.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last photo, that did not look like somebody like against their will to me.
Correct.
There might have been something happen. There might have been something happening in between both these scenes that we don't know about. But if Stelexia is walking with, if that hooded figure is we believe to be Luxu, why that doesn't look like that just look like somebody who's just walking with Luxu.
Like you're saying, it doesn't seem like somebody against their will. It seems like someone who's rather collaborating with what's going on.
Yeah. So, what I'm getting at is, I don't believe that Stelexia is a true dandelion.
You think it's more in line with Ava?
I don't think it's Ava either.
So who? I guess. Well, this isn't a true dandelion episode, so let's keep it on Ava. So keep walking me through this. So here we have Strelitzia walking with what appears to be Luxu, not against her own will, completely of her own agency. And then we have what is Luxu with a white hooded figure that he's going to place in the pod. So where does Ava come in here?
So, this is speculation on my part. I think in that cloth is Kyrie.
You think Kyrie's in the cloth?
Yes.
And what do you have to back that up? Because that intrigues me.
That's speculation. This is speculation,
Okay.
obviously. So here's why. This is something I've been thinking about for like the past year or so about. So I believe that I'm a believer that Kyrie's grandma is Ava. I am one of those people who believes that. And I believe that Luxu is sending Kyrie in the time of Ray and Galgan to Ava, so Ava can take care of Kyrie and kind of guide her to where she needs to be. What do you think about that?
Trying to put together how this maybe could connect to Xehanort recognizing Kyrie. Like, I feel like the key to that being true, if it is true, it would also have something to do with Xehanort figuring out who Kyrie is in Radiant Garden. You know, maybe since he has the player's memories, if your assumption is true, if your speculation is true that Kyrie really is from this time, then maybe when Xehanort has the player's memories, he sees that, and that's how he's able to maybe recognize Kyrie.
Yeah. I'm trying to can we let's pull up the photo of baby Kyrie and Kyrie's grandma.
You got it, Chief. Let's pull it up.
Let's pull that up.
Okay.
I'm also interested to see what you think like about this, because I'm assuming that you had some thoughts about Ava as well.
Okay. Well, I've done a
Yes,
full
it
episode on connecting Kyrie and Ava to one another. I'm of the belief they're connected in some way. Whether it's
So I think that I think her role is to put Kyrie where she needs to be in the hands of Xehanort, and Xehanort sends Kyrie to Destiny Islands to see Sora and a Keyblade wielder in Riku.
And
So
would you say Luxu is the one coordinating all of this? Because there has to be someone coordinating this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And can we pull up the one of Kyrie I sent you?
Yes. Let me get that pulled up. And let's take it back. Shoot.
So obviously I don't think Ava and Luxu on the same page as a master. I think they don't want the world to end like the master is intending. So I think having Kyrie change destiny by having, because Sora does not save everyone without Kyrie believing in him and keeping him alive in the final world. So I think the key of everything of what happens in Kingdom Hearts 3 is because of Kyrie, and it's because of the collaboration between Luxu and Ava after they class Keyblades.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
So let me lead with what I currently believe. What I believe is that Strelitzia is the true dandelion, and that she was sent to Quadratum to sort of be like a signal so all the dandelions could gather there. I think the master wants to gather all the dandelions in Quadratum, and that's where he can put darkness in them and basically do as he did with the foretellers. That's what I think is going on. And I think Strelitzia was like almost like a radio signal that all the other dandelions were going to end up there, right? That pulls Marluxia in because he's looking for her. That pulls Elrena in because she follows him. And with some other moving parts, we can see how that might flush out. However,
Very plausible.
correct. However, what you've laid out here intrigues me because I see how it would require both Ava and Luxu to coordinate something like this. And I see how, for the most part, if you go through the Darkseeker saga, Xigbar Luxu leaves Kyrie alone. There is little to no interaction between the two, as opposed to him, him and Ventus, there's a lot of interaction. Him and Elrena and Marluxia, there's a certain amount of interaction. But with Kyrie, he seems to have left Kyrie alone, almost as if that's who Ava's going to watch. That's who Ava's going to make sure is in place. I'm going to make sure Marluxia, Larxene, Ventus, I'll make sure they're in place. Ava's going to make sure Kyrie's in place. Maybe she, that's just kind of my idea. It seems to me like Luxu's job was to put the dandelions where they belong. That's why I like the idea that Strelitzia is the true dandelion, because it seems like he's putting the pieces on the board. But what grounds do you think Kyrie would have for being the true dandelion as opposed to an Ava or Strelitzia?
Because he makes the difference. Like, he is really the reason that Sora was able to save everybody.
Kind of makes her the
Also,
linchpin. I gotcha.
Yeah. But where's Ava at now? I think a lot of us want to know. We'll see that.
I think that's.
Can we pull up the one of Luxu looking up?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
In the Keyblade graveyard.
You got it. Oh, I think I see where you might be going with this. Okay, all pulled up.
I believe that right now, like, even if Kyrie's grandma or not, I believe she's in the final world. I think that's where she is. She's in the final world, or she is not. Like, there's a reason why he's looking up in the sky when he's talking about her in that scene.
Yeah, that's when he looks up. He says, Ava had her own mission and she carried it out. And he kind of looks to the sky. Okay, I'm hearing you, Lanz. That's a very key detail, I suppose. Okay, Ava's in the final world. How'd she get there?
Yeah, and he's like I feel like they make a point, whoever the cutscene director is, to keep his head they keep his head looking up until a set interrupts that moment. Like, I do think that she is in the final world or somewhere not within the world they're in, obviously.
For me, at least, like, if we're going to talk about where Ava could be, I think Ava might be either in Scala for Missing Link or in Quadratum for Kingdom Hearts 4. That's where I think Ava is. Because, for one, when we think about Missing Link, right, and Sigurd picks up Brain as he basically arrives in Scala, and it seems like there's an entire organization that's already assembled. There's already, something in place for him to take part in. Sigurd is obviously taking orders from on high somewhere. Some part of me thinks that might be Ava, because when you think of Ava's mission, right, take all these Keyblade wielders, fly off to another world. Well, what else is Scala if not a world of Keyblade wielders, right? Ended up, and maybe that's the role that she sort of inherited. Adversely, seeing as she sort of is like the unofficial, or rather official leader of the Dandelions, I wonder if she's in Quadratum. Like, I really wonder if she's in Quadratum. And I wonder if, again, so much of it comes down to that scene with Luxu and Ava. It's like, how did that end? Does Ava still think Luxu's lying? And if Ava sees the Master of Masters in Quadratum, if he's like, oh no, Luxu's the enemy, Ava, is Ava going to believe him? Like, I wonder, where's Ava sitting? Is she like a loyalist to the Master of Masters? Or is she ready to all out rebel against him? Like, that's the thing, is like, her point of view is still a mystery. Does she conflate Luxu and the Master of Masters as one thing? Or does she see them as two separate sides in a conflict? You know, these are the things about Ava that are still a mystery that dictate a lot of where she's going to be and what she's doing.
See, I believe she's conspiring as a master. I mean, I think that the key moment where I believe that was when she changed names on his list for who the union leaders are going to be.
Yeah. And, you know, like Kevin is saying here, Andy says she's dead, guys. Which, you know, that's always possible. But then if she's dead, she could just be in Quadratum. You know, the way things work. Dead. And honestly, that kind of works with you too, Lance.
Quadratum. I mean, when Riku goes to Quadratum, he has to go over the sky to get there. So I mean, that's
the thing.
I mean,
with her being dead, that
we
doesn't
could both be right with that.
Exactly. Doesn't disqualify her being in the final world. Doesn't disqualify her being in Quadratum. But there's something Kevin Ribeiro said in the chat that I think is very interesting. That he told Ava to go create an entirely separate organization of wielders. Again, is that not what's going on in Missing Link? And seeing that she had a close relationship with Ephemer, and she felt Ephemer was worth emulating, right? She's like, oh, I hope the future is filled with wielders like you. So wouldn't it make sense she would want to enshrine Ephemer and have an entire civilization that looks to him? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Dominic says technically Ava is the missing link. If you want to elaborate on that, Dominic, please go ahead.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that.
Adonai says Ava is often seen sitting in shadowed places in back cover, I've noticed. Often her hands crossed, as well as sort of as an X. The hands crossed might be a bit of a stretch, but sitting in shadowy places and like literally shape-shifting in Union Cross is an interesting prospect.
It is. It is.
And then here's Adonai again, kind of getting... Go ahead.
Go. You go ahead.
I was saying he's kind of getting what we were saying before. Either she struck a deal with Luxu, or maybe she got lost to her own darkness. Because I
love Mel's theory about Ava too. The her being darkness. I think that's also a good theory. I still think is possible.
Well, and this is the other thing too, that we still need a hard confirmation on. Did the Master's plan work on the Foretellers? Are 7 of the Darknesses officially slain? And now there's only 6 left? And his plan is to put those 6 in the dandelions? Now, those are the things that we still need to know for sure too. Is like, so are the Darknesses still in the Foretellers? Or is that part complete and now we're working on the final 6?
Definitely possible. I mean, there are 6. I mean, even with the imposter, that would make 6. So that's very plausible. That was intentional.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting prospect. How do we know the Nameless star isn't Ava all grown up? They took away my name, everything about me. There's no way we can know, right? Her name is a mystery. Maybe her name is something we know. And when she says her name is Ava, we're going to be like, oh, she went to Quadratum and grew up or something. You know what I mean?
Well, here's my thing. I don't know if she would say her name is Ava. I think she might go by, if that is her all grown up. I don't think it is, but let's just say it is for the sake of conversation. I think she would go by her actual name. Because they all real names. Mm-hmm. But eventually, I'm sure there'll be like a single, like the sign of the fox or something that will come along that will indicate that she is Ava.
Yeah, again,
Oh, so she could whip out her Keyblade.
and that's how we know.
That'd be lit.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's cool. That's cool. I would like a cool little reveal like that. But again, like I feel like she's one of the characters that are super, super mysterious. And for her to be such a big player and have arguably, other than Luxu, the most important role, I don't know. I have to think that she's cooking. Whether she's cooking in Quadratum, cooking in the final world.
What if her changing that list, she committed a paradox, and that's why she went there. If that is her, and that's her new life, and that was her new life before she got clapped again.
Yeah, because would it be a temporal paradox that Gula told Ava what was on the lost page? Because Gula wasn't supposed to tell anybody, but he told Ava.
And then she changed the list.
Yeah. So I think you're right. So maybe because she caused some kind of paradox.
What back to the new, and like that life of her, like with Yozora, that was a new life.
Interesting. Hey, yo, Cage Guides is here saying, yeah, I think the fox imagery and her ability to create illusory imagery is going to throw us all off for the possibilities in the future. Kind of going to what you were saying earlier about her potential reveal. But man.
Lord Guides,
happy to see you here.
Lord Guides.
Blake Husky seems to be on your page, says, I like Lance. I think she may be reincarnated already. And that's the other thing too, right? Sometimes I wonder with Ava, like, is she cooking with Brain? Because like the whole Brain, Ericus, Blue Blood, you Sly Fox. She's got the Fox motif. Yeah. You know, there's something to be considered with that too.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair. Sven here says, I don't think the Book of Prophecy said Gula kept the page a secret. There was just a mission given by Master, so not really a paradox. I see what you mean by that, but at the same time, I guess I would argue if it was mentioned in the Book of Prophecies that Gula, if the lost page was mentioned at all in the Book of Prophecies, then Ira wouldn't have needed it from Gula. Okay, Umbra cracked it, says Ava reincarnated into Goofy. Trust me, my uncle works at Daybreak Town. Oh, God.
You don't get sauces better than that.
By the way, I put a poll out on YouTube asking the chat, Ava is the true dandelion, the traitor in KH4 Quadratum, in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link Scala. True dandelion came in first with 38%, Quadratum at 30%, traitor at 18%, and Scala at 13%, which is funny because even though Scala came in last place, I actually think Scala is the most likely.
I vote for the traitor.
You vote for the traitor?
I vote for the traitor based off of the list, of changing the list.
True. Because Luxu, at the end of the day, technically performed his role.
Technically, yeah.
Huh. Soup to Carrot says, what if Ava reincarnated like Luxu did? I don't think she reincarnated into Ericus.
Body hopping?
Yeah. But I don't think she would be a body hopper. I think she'd just be a shapeshifter.
Yeah, I don't believe that she would body hop. I think it makes me wonder, like, what if the foretellers all have like a special power that like Ava can shapeshift, Luxu can body hop. I wonder what like Asad and Ingvi and the rest of the foretellers have like a special like abilities, like superhuman abilities.
That's interesting. I wonder if if each one has like a quote unquote special move.
I really do believe that like the shapeshifting thing is going to come back in the future. Like I really think that like we're going to look back at a scene where like, oh, sorry, my apologies.
You're good.
we're going to look back and Ava and and Ava shapeshifting, she was somewhere where we didn't think that she would be, but because she can shapeshift, we were we were finding out she was actually there.
Yeah, because
How do you feel about that?
I like that because, I like it when Kingdom Hearts can surprise me, right? The Luxu reveal's like a top moment for a reason. If they're able to pull that off, like with Ava, in the sense that she's a shapeshifter, not a body hopper, and like maybe she was like among us, quote unquote, the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. So thank you for explaining that better than I could.
So, I mean, yeah, that's what the Back and Forth podcast is for, right?
Right. Yeah.
But then again, like, it's just that she's such a big part of the Master's plan. It's like, I don't think, I think even if Kingdom Hearts 4 and she's collaborating with the Master, it won't last long. Because, again, I struggle with this. Go ahead.
She seemed very upset when Luxu told her the truth.
Yes. And that's
she was
why
very upset.
And I think that's why, because she has such a respect for the Master, that I wonder if the Master's going to use that against him. Like, no, Luxu's the traitor. Don't listen to him. Ava, you could see him doing that.
I'm just picturing that in my head. Yeah.
Oh, don't listen to that little, you know what I mean? I could see him pulling that, Because the dandelions trust Ava, right? Like, that's the thing. The dandelions trust Ava. The Master wants to put the darknesses in the dandelions. Therefore, he's going to need Ava's trust, who has the trust of the dandelions. Like, there's almost like a chain. I don't know how he intends to do it without their trust.
I can see Ava being like, "Go, fuck you. You got to put any darkness in my dandelions."
But you know what? That would be playing right into the Master's plan, because he didn't necessarily, he had the foretellers' trust, but it's not like he needed their trust to let him do it. They trusted him enough that he could manipulate them and make them susceptible to darkness. So in the same sense, I don't see the dandelions becoming so susceptible to darkness without being manipulated into it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Brain like becoming so.
He is a good manipulator. He is.
That's what he does. He manipulates.
He's the manipulator.
He's the manipulator.
You thought Xehanort was a manipulator? This guy is different. This guy is built different.
Xehanort could gaslight. Xehanort could gaslight. Like, Birth by Sleep is like gaslighting the game for Xehanort. But the Master's at a whole other level. He's not even gaslighting you at this point. He has a way of telling you the truth and lying to you at the same time. Like, that's how much of a psycho this guy is.
Even before the Union Cross finale, he had the audience fooled. Like, a lot of us were like, is he a villain? Is he a good guy? We didn't really know. Like, maybe I don't even know if we might not even know yet, but
we don't know
I'm leaning
for sure
towards
yet.
villain.
We don't know for sure yet. My best bet is that he's going to be a villain that wants to save his friends. This way, he's like the most relatable villain of all time in Kingdom Hearts. Like, if that's literally just what he is at his core, I think that could be great.
I like how in the Lost Master arc, there's not only him, but there's like the Yozora conflict. There's still PM Maleficent. Like, I like games that have different antagonists with different causes.
Mm-hmm. I guess the thing is, like, there's multiple moving parts.
I'm excited to see what Ava is and where her place is in all of this.
And again, like, what you bring up is very fascinating, because this is the thing about the Lost Masters arc I find very exciting, is like the fact that there are these multiple parties, right? You have the Guardians who have their own agenda, Maleficent and Pete that have their own agenda, the Master of Masters who has his own agenda, Luxu, who very clearly has his own agenda. There's like all these different parties vying for power or whatever it is they're pursuing, and it's going to be interesting to watch them all mend and like clash, because I just don't see everybody getting along.
That's why I enjoy That's why I enjoy. I'm not going to talk about the story so much, but that's why I'm enjoying Final Fantasy 16 so much, because I think that's kind of like that in a
Yeah.
way.
You have these multiple factions. Everybody's vying for it. And it, again, it's everyone, there's almost like different degrees of antagonism, right? Like, look at Maleficent. Maleficent is the perfect example of like evil for evil's sake. Her name, Maleficent, even means malevolent. Like, evil for evil's sake. She wants nothing but power, nothing but control. And then you have someone like the Master who's like, I've seen the darkness kill my loved ones, kill my friends. I want to rid darkness forever. And then you have Sora who's like, I just want to go home. And then you have the foretellers who God knows what they're after. And then you have Ava who knows what she's doing. And this is what I mean where, like you brought up,
I love it.
all these different factions all want. It's just going to be a joy to watch it all unfold. And what makes Ava so exciting is like whenever she chooses to reveal herself, it will inadvertently change everything. If she's in Missing Link, changes everything. She's in Quadratum, changes everything. Like that's what makes Ava exciting, is just as when Luxu chose to reveal himself, it made everyone go, whoa! I think Ava will be the same thing. When
Best
Ava,
cutscene ever, by the way,
you think it's the best cutscene in the series?
and the whole series.
It's really one of the best. It really is one of the best.
That was so like. I'm sure some people saw it coming when he started talking, but when he took off the hood, that's when I was like, whoa! Like I think a lot of people are like, that's not Sagball, he's dead. When he was started talking, when we took off the hood, it's like it is, you know. But and then the next question in that scene, where's Ava? Where is he? You know.
Mhm.
And that's why we're here today. Hopefully, maybe try and figure that out, or have ideas of where else he could be.
It makes me. It's why I think Quadratum. Or it might even be both Missing Link and Quadratum. Or Final World. Could be all freaking three, for all we know. But ultimately lands, like, let's skip over Kingdom Hearts 4 for a minute. Let's go to Kingdom Hearts 5.
Okay.
What's Ava up
Kingdom
to?
Hearts
Like,
5. Okay.
like, what's Ava up to? Where's this all going for her?
I don't know. I think Ava. I really do believe Ava wants to do good. I really do believe that, and I really do believe she's willing to go against the master's teachings to do that, based off what I've seen from her.
Mm-hmm.
Is she? I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think? What do you think Ava's going to be up to in Kingdom Hearts 5?
I think she's almost going to have like a... It's weird to say this because she's so young, but I almost mean more from a Keyblade wielder's perspective. I think she's going to end up having a pretty maternal vibe over the dandelions. Like, I kind of see her reinvigorating that role. Like, if Strelitzia is in Quadratum and Ava's there, Ava's calling the shots, obviously. With Ava, I feel like... It's hard for me to figure this out, but it's like... I think she and Kyrie are going to be very heavily involved with one another. I think first Kyrie learns from Aqua, but I think then she graduates to Ava, in a sense, which is weird how those two rhyme.
Right.
Aqua, Ava. Anyway, I see her in a very heavy mentorship role, and I say this with a lot of the foretellers, but I think Ava's not going to like Riku. I think it's possible Ava meets Riku first.
Or Terra.
Terra too.
She steps back.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when she sees someone like Riku use darkness, she's going to go, he's out. Enemy. Because what else does she know? Now, if, for instance, Secret Reports theory were to be true, and Ava is connected to darkness in some way, then maybe vice versa, that draws her to Riku. And maybe now Riku and Ava are sort of like mingling in Quadratum. Maybe it's like Sora, Strelitzia, Riku, and Ava, right?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
you see like Strelitzia, who's more of like on the light side, very, wears white clothing, again, like kind of her vibe, fits with Sora, and maybe Ava's a little darker. Again, if Secret Reports is correct, which, she's one of the channels who I would bet on much more than some other channels when it comes to being right and wrong. But it's interesting to think about.
It makes me think because like we know like I know it's all Quadratum, but like I think the KH3 secret ending make it clear that they're in different places of Quadratum, different like Sora was in Shibuya and Riku is in Sujoku. So what if like Sora and Stelexia are in the Shibuya part of Quadratum, and then when Riku gets there, he meets a girl who is going to be Ava, but we won't know she's Ava because she won't have she's not going to, when we meet this character, this hypothetical character, they're going to have like an original name. They're not going to go by Ava. I feel like when next time we see Ava, they're not going to go by Ava. That's my. We'll find out they were Ava, but I don't think when we see them, they're going to go by Ava.
That's such a good point, and I want to put a stick in something I brought up earlier. I don't think Ava will be the Nameless Star, because then we would have seen her use a Keyblade in like that Verum Rex commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when Yozora takes Sora's Keyblade, he might go, "You have one of these?" It would have been a little bit more of a reaction, in my opinion. That said, I love this idea that when we see Ava again, we're not going to know it. I won't know it's you, and you won't know it's me, but we'll be together. But I think that's such a powerful move the Kingdom Hearts narrative has going for it, is that between body hopping, shape shifting, and whatever the hell's happening in Quadratum where they took away my name, everything about me, it's almost like, the master says, believe what you see with your eyes, but it's like, how can you when everyone's bodies are being stolen? When people are shape-shifting, can you really believe what you see? And
stealing identities. Stealing identities like Ansem, Seeker of Darkness.
Yep.
Like this whole like stealing identities and taking names is not new in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Not at all.
I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. I think we're going to see more of that. I hope to see it I want to see it, but like I don't want it to be like overused to where it's not like exciting anymore,
And I think they've made a good balance of that, right? It's not like
I think so too.
Right, because like the Luxu reveal wasn't like, another reveal, another foreteller lurking among us. It's like, no, that was a big splash, and they held on to that.
And in the same game, they have the Luxu being the driver reveal, and that was shocking. It was so shocking. I should admit this. I didn't believe that was actually him initially.
You didn't,
and I watched it a few more times. I'm like, okay, that is him. That is him. But yeah, that's just same game. They were still able to have these crazy reveals, these crazy. I don't think I believe what they do with Master Ava is going to be no different.
As far as Master Ava is concerned, right? It's like, consider that let's go back to her maybe being Kyrie's grandma for a second.
Okay.
I kind of want to believe that's not true anymore. Because I actually think that's too boring. I think that's too boring. Valid. At this point, like in the conversation we've just had in like the last 45 minutes, there's way more interesting stuff you could do with Ava than that. She could be a player in the game. She could be, you know what I mean? Like she could be in Quadratum, in Missy. Like I actually think her just being Kyrie's grandma and like letting Kyrie be captured by Xehanort, I don't know. Would Kyrie have? Shouldn't Ava have been able to sense? Oh, that's Ephemer's descendant. Let me go talk to him. Like, to not involve yourself in that at all. I don't know.
But my thoughts from that was that was intentional. But like you said though,
Correct.
that is kind of boring. That is kind of boring. That like this has been like a 6-year-old theory now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Then again, though, the terror of the Guardian thing wasn't that a theory for a long time too?
It was, and I want to give whoever put that video up so much credit. They didn't say one word. They just showed you the scenes, and that was the whole video. Because it really, like, the visual explained itself. You know,
I've never seen the video for that, actually.
The video, very simply, there's 2 videos. The first guy who put it up, and then somebody else put one up like a year or 2 later. But the first guy who put up the scene of Terra bequeathing Riku, and Riku says to him, the strength to protect what matters. Then at the end of the boss fight in Dream Drop Distance, he showed the Guardian reaching for Riku.
Reaching out.
Yeah, and then Riku just goes, the strength to protect what matters. And that was the whole video. And it's just one of those things where it's like, Kingdom Hearts has a way of telling us the truth if you could put it together. You know? The truth is always hiding under our nose. It's just a matter of us figuring it out.
For sure.
But again,
so that's why that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you.
I was going to say that, like, you know, I'm still a believer in that being a thing, based off, you know, they do like to do that, hiding things under our noses, but it is boring. It is kind of like boring that would be
that she's just gonna tap out of this war. That she's gonna tap out of this war and just be someone's grandma. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful and amazing thing you could be. One of the most important things you could be in this world is a grandma. But we're gonna go from Ava being a master foreteller in the battle between light and dark, and there's gonna be a clash and quadratum between reality and fiction. And Ava's going to be regulated to being an old woman in Radiant Garden? I don't know. I think there's more exciting things to be had.
I agree.
Shout out to Master of Masters throwing us a $2 super chat saying Ava is just chilling with Xehanort in Quadratum. I'm about it.
I will say, though.
I'm about it.
If what I said earlier is true, it will be an interesting way to get there. But, like, if she is like the true dandelion, that'd be out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I think that's a big problem with that theory. Is like that'd be too out of nowhere.
I would agree. I like it as Strelitzia. Your Kyrie idea is super interesting. And as long as they went back and explained where the hell Kyrie was during all of Union Cross, I could be all for it. But I do agree. I'm not really about Ava being the true dandelion.
Yes, Phyrexia, the true dandelion is like I say, I do think there are holes in it with her being willingly like going into the pot and being carried, but I do think that does make sense in the grand scheme of things. Besides that little hole there, but what do you And I know we talked about KX5, but what do you want from Ava in KX4? Like, will we see Ava in KX4? Do you think we'll even see her in KX4?
I'm honestly a believer we do, just because I think it's a dandelion reunion. Like, that's what I think this all is. You know, like, what the foretellers reunited without Ava. I think the dandelions might reunite with Ava, but without Ephemer. I don't know. Why all this insistence on Union Cross, if not to bring her back with the other dandelions? That said, what do I want from her in Kingdom Hearts 4 and like just moving forward? I want to see her conflicted. Because I think that's what made her so interesting in Union Cross, was how conflicted she became with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Absolutely.
see. I'd like to get a little bit in her head. You know, that's what I would like to see. I think she's one of the more interesting characters. I think what makes her
Absolutely.
really cool is in back cover, the Master of Masters talks to her way differently.
Way
than-
differently than anyone else.
He plays no jokes. He's not being the like jestery
Like,
like
he's not being
jackass.
silly.
Yeah, he's being like so serious. Like, Ava, you're the only person for this. Like, very serious. That has to mean something. You know what I want to see? I want to see her just lose it on the master.
Me too. I would fucking love
I
that.
want to see her, like, her trust being betrayed. I want to see that break her. Like, I put all my trust in you. I put my whole life on your judgment and your tutelage. And you were walking me down, like, the stairway to heaven? No. Like, that's what I want to see. Because, like she said, to Gula, summoning Kingdom Hearts is forbidden. And, you know, with the master putting the heart over the moon, it's very clear part of his plan is also to summon Kingdom Hearts into Quadratum, into unreality. I could see Ava going like, this goes against everything you said. Like, you are a hit. Like, that's kind of what I want to see. What I want to see from Kingdom Hearts in general more is these characters clash with each other more. You know, not even so much about good or evil, but about morals and principles, right? Something a little bit more nuanced than good and evil.
And I feel like, you know, I feel like Missing Link and like the whole era of like Key has a lot of characters who have a lot of who strongly believe in the values and beliefs. And I feel like a lot of characters from that era are going to clash with a lot of the modern characters we have. Where it's, I think a lot of the characters we have now is they're in a gray area, and a lot of the Missing Link and a lot of the key characters is more of black and white thinking. And I think that's going to be a recipe for a lot of conflict, and I'm all about it, like you are.
Yeah, because I love it when you can create a villain or an anti-hero or even like a hero who needs to go as an archetype would say, a fool who's the precursor to hero. What I like is someone who's, it's like the end that they're fighting for, the ends they're fighting for are just, but their means are repulsive. There's something about that particular dynamic I really like. I like it when someone is like, I want to usher in a better world, but the only way for me to usher in a better world is to compromise my values, my beliefs. Like, I like that. It's why everyone has a soft spot for the samurai who clashes with the samurai code. Like, that's almost like a recipe for a good story every time. You know, that's what I want to see. What about you?
You know, speaking of this, we're kind of like blackjacking a little bit to episode the other day, but like, Zango is a lot. I think Zango is a lot like that because
he is. That's why I love him.
He's one of our. He might be in the Kingdom Hearts timeline. He might be one of the first characters who had that gray area mindset. And kind of obviously had bad means to go about getting the job done, of course, like shadowing Kyrie and taking Terra's body and doing all these terrible things. Yeah, playing God, exactly. But he's really like the first like character we've seen in the timeline to really have like a great area of thinking where like a lot of the characters, like the Ericuses, the all those other kids from Dark Rogue had like a black and white sort of mindset.
Yeah, first of all, shout out to Andrew McKee. Oh, go ahead.
And I think that's exactly what Zigba was looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what he was looking for. Well, this angle could be quite useful.
Exactly. So shout out to Andrew McKee throwing us a $2 super chat. Says Ava is Sora's mom from Kingdom Hearts 1, which
Man, it's Ava everyone's mom and grandma.
yeah, Ava's out here, man. But yeah, dude, you know, that's the thing that made Xehanort a good character, was like, he was, when it comes to his philosophies, he was more right than Ericus. Like, Ericus's philosophies were wrong, right?
I think Elvis is a sham.
Totally. His exam was a sham. His practices were a sham, like striking down your own student. He recognized it in the end, like, my own heart is darkness. I'm not the warrior of light I thought I was. But, you know, it's the idea that, like, Xehanort understood from the beginning, like, light and dark are a balance. This whole idea of light good, dark bad is just stupid, wrong, and destructive. And Xehanort understood that. His means of going about to correct it, though, were awful. But to him, he felt like he had no choice. Like, after everything he saw on the World Tour, and again, the Masters manipulated him. And he was like, we have no choice. The light in this world is a false light. These people are putting on a facade. The people who claim to be just and claim to be moral. It is all a facade so that they can gain the advantage in our world. Like, he felt like he had to do it. The Master of Masters, he's not that different. You know what I mean? He's not that different. That's why he was able to kind of, for lack of a better term, groom Xehanort in that direction. You know? I don't know. I'll leave it.
You know how we would talk about how the Master talked to Ava differently?
Yes.
Well, you think that's, you works to keep that from being manipulation for her as well, you know? Like, it was very
100%.
serious. Maybe I feel like the only way he could manipulate her was to be that serious, as opposed to the other, like, foretellers. He could be his goofy, like, jackass self, like you said.
Yeah, because I think for a lot of other roles, it required a little distrust in the Master, right? So he was a jester with Gula, so Gula could go, I have to disobey the Master's teachings. I need to summon Kingdom Hearts. He was a little bit of a jester with Ased, so Ased goes, hey, you know what? I need to be leader. I know the Master chose Ira and said I have to push him in the right direction, but no, I should be leader. And we could keep going down the list, right? Ira wanting to see the lost page and not respecting that was that's how the Master said it. However, with Ava, he needed there to be no distrust. No distrust. This way, when Luxu was like, hey, the Master's up to this, she's like, no, no way he would do that. You're making that up. You're making that up for your own means.
That was absolutely intentional then. Now that you bring that up, yeah. I fully believe that was because if he was that serious, that would make Ava trust him 100% and question and not believe what Luxu was presenting to her.
That, and like, if you look at the way, go ahead.
It makes me wonder, like, what actually happened after they clashed Keyblades.
Yeah, because again, we see the two of them clash, and we don't know how it ends. It starts the Keyblade War. It's probably what summoned darkness in droves into Daybreak Town, you know. And how does it end? We
see them both after that. We see them both after. We see Ava in the Keyblade graveyard because he seems really upset.
They had to have struck some kind of deal, dude. They had to have. There's no way. There's no way they both walk away from that without striking some kind of deal. Shout out to Third Eye, throwing us a $5 super chat. Says, we know Kingdom Hearts loves to sneak peek the next game's boss as a secret fight. Xemnas, Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 3, we get Dark Inferno. Yozora and Ephemer must be connected. Yozora and Ephemer must be connected. I'm trying to think on that for a little bit. It's interesting, right? Okay, so you got Yozora, right? The true king. The true king. And now we got like a bloodline completely based on Ephemer, right? The blue bloods, the royal bloodline. The royal bloodline is like based on Ephemer. And Yozora is known as this true king, Verum Rex. Perhaps there's a little something there. Perhaps there's a little something there. This isn't what I really look like. So, nah, no way. You don't think Yozora could literally be Ephemer, right? That's a stretch.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy that necessarily either. Though, I would be willing to bet that Ava would try to bring Ephemer back in some way. True dandelion, true king, says Will's word. Something to think about.
Interesting. That's interesting for true dandelion, true king. I mean, we all talk about like the true. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's something I'll have to think about as well.
Will's word. Absolutely crushing it. Says he does have the Keyblades on his jacket. Yeah, he seems to have the context of what a Keyblade is. But you know what's interesting about that? I don't want to spiral too far on Yozora. I'd like to keep this relatively on Ava.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Nocfugel does say Ephemer technically was the final boss in Union Cross. And yeah, we know Ava really liked Ephemer. You know? I'm not even saying that from a romantic standpoint. I mean that she's like, this is the model of a good Keyblade wielder. And that's kind of huge for her to feel that way. About someone who's like beneath her on a hierarchy.
I think the closest person to like a romance with her was actually Brain. This is just me spitballing. Like I felt like there was like an energy in that cutscene that they had. I know it was like GBs and shit, but there was like an energy there. I felt like I don't know. It wasn't there for Gula. It wasn't there for Gula. I know like Gula. I think Gula has the hawks for Ava personally, based on what I saw in back cover. But I felt the energy with Brain was different. What do you think about that?
I like it because they're both chess players temperamentally. Like Brain and Ava they're tacticians. You know what I mean?
And they both have connections to foxes.
Yes.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I like their energy.
Hear me out. What if Ava isn't Missing Link? And now her and Brain are running the show. Right? And what if Ericus is both of their descendants?
Sly Fox.
You sly fox.
You sly fox. I love it.
Random thing I want to put out there. Just because Missing Link came up.
Coming up.
I think Remus might be Xehanort's baby daddy.
You think so?
Everyone wants to connect. Look, I did a whole video saying you can't base the appearances of characters on their bloodlines. I still believe that, but let's just have a little fun for a minute. Hear me out. So we know that Skuld is on the Xehanort family tree. Can we agree with that? That Skuld is on the Xehanort family tree?
Her mom looks a lot like Skuld, bro. It's hard to argue against that.
So let's roll with that, right? Yeah. Where does the skin tone come from?
That's what I want to know.
And why bring in Remus? Why is Remus the first guy we meet? Where like Xehanort's the last guy we left off with. Like Xehanort and Player, that was the last thing we saw in the last Kingdom Hearts release. That's like what they left us with. And then they're going to pick us up with Remus. Just a thought. That's all.
Does Remus have dark skin?
Yes.
I haven't because like the photos I've seen of him, I didn't really think so, but maybe I didn't see him. Maybe the quality wasn't good. So he's dark skin.
Yeah. Remus.
Good.
Keyblade
We
wielder.
need more dark. We need more dark skin characters in Kingdom Hearts. Let's see. I'm gonna pull him up right now.
He's the first character the player runs into Missing Link as well. Wouldn't that be fitting if the player's first guy he met was part of the Xehanort bloodline? Like, boom, you die on the island, and the next thing you know, boom, you wake up, and the baby you raised. Oh, wait, no. I've got the chronology messed up. Because that scene is technically after Missing Link. Okay. Winding it back. Yes, Eric the Dude. Remus is the guy. Everyone's connecting him to Axel because of the red hair. But we have a lot of redheads. There's not many darker skinned characters. So if we're going to go down this road, if we're going to go down the Kingdom Hearts genetic family tree road, I think player being so connected to Xehanort and then player and Remus and Missing Link, that's all I'm going to say.
It's possible.
I think it's possible. And as Will's word said, it was Romulus who founded Rome.
Yeah. That's true.
There was a good one here I wanted to bring up. 1 second. Here we go. Patari says maybe the deal struck with Ava and Luxu is how the dandelions or light figures could exist within darkness, maybe. Or maybe the deal that was struck was Ava was like, I want you to get Strelitzia out of here. Maybe they struck a deal where Ava was like, what did Ava do in that scene? What was the scene that Ava appeared in right after? What did she do? Because Luxu appeared to put the true dandelion in the pod. What did Ava do?
In the scene after that?
Yeah. Chat, if you know, speak up. But we got a super chat.
I don't know myself.
From Josh Z for $9.99. Says,
God.
remember the master talked about
this today.
What's up?
A lot of super chats.
A lot of super chats today. People, hey, as I tell people all the time, all I ask is you guys hang out. Everything else is a bonus. But I have the fucking best community, man.
Yo, what's up, Sonny?
Sonny is here too, baby. But Josh Z says, remember the master talked about the 7 crowns for the 7 lights. Is it possible Ava is related to this? It's not something that I see many people talk about. Oh, wait, Josh. I think I might have put something together. Who says the master only wants to do this with darkness? Maybe he wants to rid the world of light too. And that's what the 7 crowns are. He's got the foretellers and the dandelions to add up to 13 darknesses. And what if the 7 crowns are so he could give light a body and do the same thing? Because again, what could these 7 crowns be about? Why assemble 7 crowns? What are you doing? Bro, what if that's how he's making his new Keyblade? Is the 13 darknesses in the bodies, the 7 lights in the bodies, and then kind of doing this like sacrificial ritual to forge like a new kind of Keyblade that can pull Kingdom Hearts into unreality. I know that was a bit of a tangent, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's very possible, for sure. I mean, he is. I like to believe, as well as good of a planner Xehanort is, I'd like to believe that the master is not only a better manipulator, but a better planner than Xehanort. Well, so I think it's definitely possible. Well, I mean, if he has I'm sure, like, and I think a good example of this is like, if Luxu did, I mean, Luxu kind of did, but like, Luxu came out as low, but there's a reason why I called him the traitor.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's planning for. I'm sure he's planning that. So for him to not only plan that, but to possibly plan out a new Keyblade, with the 13 darknesses and the 7 crowns, think it's very possible.
Yeah, because again, the question is, what is this whole 7 crowns thing, right? Like, we've always had a clue about the, ooh, you think Ava might be one of the 7 crowns? And that's why the master is like pushing her to another world, like getting her out of the darkness conflict. Like, hey, we need to get her and the dandelions out of here. Maybe he's got plans for her for light. I don't know. But no, technically, the master used her for darkness. So I want to pull that back.
Yeah, and another thing about that, I was going to follow up is I forgot to mention this earlier. When young Eric and young Xano are playing chess in the epilogue, her chess piece is a black piece. So she might. That's a possibility. I know that you and I know she's conflicted, and I know that we both believe that she is going to side with the light. But there's a chance he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the game for Sal that she's going to side with the darkness because she is her chess piece is a black piece.
Ooh.
7 black pieces.
And 7 black pieces, but
walks.
Just watch. We lost Drake Bell. we lost Drake Bell, young Ericus. Never to return again. Yeah, you know what? Never mind.
Drake Bell.
You know who I think would make a
Elijah Wood.
You know who I think
Elijah Wood.
You think Elijah Wood? You know who I'd pick Paul Castro Jr. But hopefully,
I would love that too.
But hopefully he's got to play Rindo in Kingdom Hearts 4. Let's hold out for that. But I think he'd be a great young Ericus. I think he'd be so good.
I think we'll see Paul Castro in Kingdom Hearts. I think we'll see him in Kingdom Hearts.
He got it to FF7. He got into World Ends With You. Another checkbox.
I think he'd be I tweeted this like years ago, but I think he'd be a great brain.
I could see that. The way he kind of talks, like in Neo, the way when Rindo's like thinking to himself, I could kind of feel that same vibe with Brain.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Like the way Rindo used to like look at his phone and be like, imagine him just like flipping through the book of prophecies, like, like I could see that they like that sort of introspective thing. I could see that
exactly.
Okay, as MA says, we stand Paul Castro Jr. in this chat. He's a great guy. If you guys like Paul, you should follow him on Twitter and Twitch. He's a great live streamer too. Plays a lot of cool stuff.
Just a Trick's partner.
He did he? That's right. Right. Yeah, he posted about that.
We love to see that.
Love to see it. All right. So as far as Ava goes, before we really start spiraling here, was there anything with Ava we for sure wanted to bring up, again, before we really cut ourselves loose from the title topic?
Let's see. We cover Kyrie's grandma thing.
Correct.
Sunny's I know Sunny's not a believer. Hopefully he's not mad at me when he rewalks his for the start of this. We covered that. We covered the Luxu cutscene, what her possibilities there. We covered the Nameless doll possibilities. We covered Quadratum, her relationship with Kyrie and Stelexia and the Dandelions. We covered a lot of bases with Ava so far, I think. I think we covered everything.
We definitely covered everything we wanted to get to. The poll I put out on
7 black pieces. 7 black pieces. We covered that. And I love that.
Like I can't help myself anytime someone says it.
I hope Benderson comes back. I know a lot of people want to see Zango again, but I want to see Zango.
I want them both back. I want them both back. I think it'd be amazing. Like maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
You're not crazy. You're based.
But you know what? That's the thing, Jude, is everyone's like, oh, it's funny how everyone just believes Xehanort will be back. Like, but people are doubtful about Ericus, but it's like, Ericus was the better chess player, dude. Like, if you believe Xehanort plans to come back, you have to believe Ericus does too. Like, he was the better chess player.
What we see him in Quadratum, like we saw like Lee and Isa and BBS is like being kids, you know. What we see him like? What if like Sora like walks past them playing chess like outside? That'd be cool. Wouldn't it?
That would be amazing. That would be. I
That'd be-
would
that'd
love
be-
to see like if Quadratum was actually like this quote unquote graveyard of Kingdom Hearts, like all these characters that are quote unquote dead, and you see Strelitzia there, you see young Eric is there, young Xehanort there, Sora's there, like anyone who kind of gets the axe is just like in Quadratum. I don't know, like I wonder if it would operate like. And again, I bring this up so much, but Lance, maybe you could help me with this. One thing that bothers me is like, I don't understand. Never mind, I do. I was going to say, I don't understand how Strelitzia got to Quadratum when Sora got there by completely different means. But that's the power of the lifeboat. That's the power of the arc, you know?
Yeah. If she is the true dandelion,
Yes.
then yeah. And we still know who that hooded figure was. Like I'm like 95%, 99% sure it's Luxu, but could be the master. You never know.
Wait, who's Luxu?
The hooded figure walking with Celestia.
Oh,
The
yeah.
the white robes Celestia.
Yeah. I think so. It would make sense. When does that scene appear chronologically? In regards to the clash he had with Ava, is that before or after? I'm pretty sure it's before.
It's after.
It is after. Wait.
Because it's when
If that's really after, that's interesting.
that was when so it takes place when Elena, I think Elena's therapy told Elena that she saw Strexia and the hooded figure, and they told Lorium about it. And this was new. It was the episode before the finale of Union Cross. It was the what comes after chapter.
They struck a deal. You can't convince me now. I'm actually like, I think I'm all in on that. There's no Ava and Luxu clash, and then later chronologically we see Luxu walking with a Strelitzia that doesn't appear to be held against her will, and you have a Luxu who said, "I'm gonna watch over all the dandelions." And if he cares about the dandelions, then he cares about Ava. So even if he beat Ava in that fight, he wouldn't necessarily want to like subdue her. He might be like, hey, I don't like what the master's doing either, Ava. Why don't we work together?
100%.
And how does Luxu know Ava carried her mission out? He seems very confident when he goes, Ava had her own mission, and she carried it out. And when he said, and like even when Gula says, is that why you decided to exclude her? He's like, as if, like, I wouldn't exclude her.
That's why I'm a believer in, I think she pulled a lot, I don't want to say pulled strings, but I think she put a lot of things in motion behind the scenes. She did some. We don't know the extent of the work. I mean, I have my thoughts and speculation, like I mentioned earlier in the episode. But I think we can both agree there was a lot. That Ava did some. She definitely put a lot of things in place in order to where we are at the point now in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah, because he didn't seem to have an antagonistic vibe when Ava's name came up. You know?
Did it? Nope.
Interesting.
I can't wait to see what happens with her. Like, I'm so excited. That's one of the biggest questions we have.
It could be she's a real player in the game. She's a real player in the game.
That's a good point by a Kid Q. if she had failed, she might have been there.
That's a good point. That just by default, her not being there means that she was successful. In the same way, the master having the Book of Prophecies was a sign Luxu was successful. Hey yo, big shout out to Ola Dejo. Says if Luxu hasn't been in Quadratum, then he could never know that Ava completed her mission there. So he must be in the Kingdom Hearts reality somewhere. If Ava did indeed go to Quadratum, you're correct. And given that the dandelions, I think, are all going to gather there, I think that's a good guess. I really think that's a good guess. Thank you for that super chat, by the way, Ola Dejo. I do appreciate it. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Luxu Soup to Carrots says Luxu knows the dandelion succeeded because of what happens in the Keyblade graveyard and then concludes Ava's mission is complete. Maybe it has something to do with the box. Maybe just, again, by the Book of Prophecies existing, it signaled to the master that Luxu completed his mission. Maybe by the black box existing, Luxu can conclude Ava completed her mission. Ava, we stand. Lands of Masters, Sage of the Lodge, dropping a $5 super chat on us. Well, thank you, Lance.
My pleasure.
Dominic R, the Doms in the Landy Lodge are running it today. So
La Doms.
I think it's still implicit that Luxu knows more about Ava because her being present or not wouldn't inform him to the status of her mission. I guess as it relates to the master, you are correct.
That's a good point, like Dominic. That's a very good point.
Unless he read the Book of Prophecies and caused some temporal paradoxes.
Do you think he read it?
I'll say this. I don't think he's above reading it. I think it depends on whether or not it's advantageous to him.
That's well said.
Yeah.
Dark domination.
Oh, I love it. Mr. Guides.
Lord Guides himself.
Dude, I don't know. This is wild. It's just that, again, like, Ava has got to be one of the most interesting characters in the whole plot, just because, you know, we tend to like characters that are secretive, and the only character that's now as big of a mystery as the Master of Masters is probably Ava. Maybe Brain as well, but at least we know where Brain is. Like, we have no clue where Ava is.
We know Ava. We don't know where Ava is. We don't know who she is. Like a lot of questions with Ava.
Oh yeah.
We don't know what's in the box. There's so many. Did you mention the other day you think you know what's in the box, but you're keeping it to yourself?
Yeah, I have a. Okay, so all right, we're gonna go there. I have a very. I do believe I know what's in the black box. I could be wrong. I could be so wrong, but I think I know what's in the black box. And when I thought of it, I swear to you, I choked up. It was such it's a beautiful idea. And I'm really at the point where I don't want to talk about it because I don't want my goofy theory to take that beautiful moment from somebody. It's as if imagine I had conclusive evidence that Kingdom Hearts ends with a Sora and Kyrie wedding. I wouldn't want to spoil that. I'd want people to have that. Now, I love making theories and obviously potentially spoiling shit, but I think there's a line of if a story beat is like beautiful and moving enough, I found I don't want to cover it. I also might be trolling you, so just consider that.
I have an idea what's in the box. And it's a little bit of a popular theory, but I don't know if the reasoning is as popular. I think it's nothing. I think it's
Kung
nothing.
Fu Panda style?
I think it's nothing because can you type spoiler warning in chat? This is going to spoil another game.
What game are we spoiling?
Nier Automata.
Okay, if you are trying to avoid Nier Automata spoilers, you have 5 seconds to mute us. I'm going to give you the double rock and roll when you're good to unmute. When you're good to unmute, I'll hit you with this. But Lanz is going to hit us with a Nier Automata spoiler. Before you do that, Lanz, let's give a shout out to Third Eye, throwing another $5 super chat. Says Ava could have committed a nature taboo like Sora did, hence why she's not around for the scene with the foretellers, and will explain why Luxu knew. Yeah, that's true. She could be guilty of a taboo. Okay, we're going to hold that. We're going to hold that thought. Go up for mute. Nier Automata spoiler coming in. I will give you this signal when you can come back. 3, 2, 1. The floor is yours, Lanz.
I think the box has nothing because I think has nothing, and the master kind of manipulated the foretellers into defeating the darkness by telling them there's nothing in it. And I kind of feel like it's connected to Nier Automata because in Nier Automata, all the androids were lied to into thinking they were fighting for something when they really weren't. So I feel like the foretellers and the whole Keyblade war was a fight for nothing.
Am I good to signal?
So that's why I think there's. Yeah, that's it. That's it, basically.
Okay, spoilers done. You can come back in. I love that. I like, I brought up Kung Fu Panda, which has a similar ending. I won't give it away, but it's like the idea that nothing could be in the box and it was all just one big troll to mess with people's heads. I could get into that. I just wonder, like, what I see the motive as using the box.
I wouldn't see.
Yeah.
To get what he wants and into having the darkness get into the foretellers' hearts. And I think that box is the plot device used to make that happen. And I feel like it's happening. I feel like it's happening in the modern day when Zigbal is telling everyone about the box that he's trying to find. And that's why it makes me wonder if like Luxu actually knows what's in the box when he says hope. Because if there is nothing, I mean, hope would make sense.
Ooh, that could be a very, very dark message. The box contains hope, but there's nothing in the box, as if to say there's no hope. Ooh, okay. I see how they could roll with that. Can I give you a few theories of what else I think might be in the box that's not the one I think it is? But I have a couple other theories.
Yes. What's that?
What if Ava's in the box?
That's valid. Maybe maybe her medium might be in the box.
And it's actually a reunion of everybody in the Keyblade graveyard.
I don't think they put a physical person in the box because it's Disney, but I do
like
think
a heart.
Maybe
you know what I mean, like a heart, an essence, a soul.
Yes, yeah. I was being
not,
too.
Not Ava's body, like not like.
Yeah, I think like her medium is in the box, like her fox mask, and then she can like regenerate like in front of them. That's why I think could be in the box.
And I'll give you one more of what might be in the box.
What?
The player. And by the player,
player,
it's you. You're in the box. You, the player, are the key to what holds Kingdom Hearts together. Without you...
That's so meta.
Right? That's what I mean. It's so meta. I've thought of that too. I'm like, what if Kingdom Hearts, what if just that's where player ends up at the end of Missing Link? He ends up in the box or something. I don't know. It's just a couple random ideas I have about the box. I think there's so much they could do with it. I feel like they can't miss. I feel like it's actually hard to miss with the box. Because as you're showing, you could put nothing in the box, and if the execution's good enough, we're here for it. I think it's such a layup.
Yeah, for sure. I want to know, like, why it doesn't exist.
Here's my other theory. You ready?
What? Go ahead. Go ahead.
The new Book of Prophecies is in the box because the old Book of Prophecies only told the story up into the Keyblade War. But now, since fate has been changed, because here's how we know this. First of all, there's a scene with Maleficent and Pete where she's like, she literally says she believes the Book of Prophecies is in the box. Maleficent outright says it in Kingdom Hearts 3 that she believes the Book of Prophecies is in the box.
And in Recoded. Well,
and
not
in
the
Recoded.
box, but she's looking in Recoded, she's looking for the Book of Prophecies. That's the first time we hear about the Book of Prophecies.
So she's looking.
The Book of Prophecies was talked about before even Key came out.
Exactly. She's looking for the Book of Prophecies, and now she wants the black box. But then what does she say? She's like, we're done looking. The box doesn't exist. And then like Pete is confused, like what? And she's like, we can't find what doesn't exist. There's a Keyblade War upon us. What happens in the Keyblade War? Sora changes fate, and now we go beyond that final chapter. There's no sense changing the events we know are going to happen. We have to worry about what comes after. So Sora changes fate, and now there are events that take place after the Keyblade War. So because that has now been initiated and this new timeline has been created, the Book of Prophecies now exists. The box now exists at the end of that Keyblade War. And that's why when they say, I said, why are we here? You tell me. He looks at the box and goes, I hope you like long stories because there's a Book of Prophecies in there. Another story.
Shit.
And that's why it links up. What happens right after he says that? I hope you like long stories. Right after that, it cuts to Xehanort and Eric.
It's a big book, bro.
Exactly.
And it's even longer now.
It's even
longer now.
And now it cuts right after that. It cuts to Xehanort and Ericus playing chess. And he goes, I heard about this new game. Just watch. Like a new book has been created. A new story. A new saga. The Book of Prophecies was just Kingdom Hearts Darkseeker Saga, the novel. And now that we're starting the Lost Masters arc, the Lost Masters Book of Prophecies has now been created. That's another theory I have.
I love it.
And now I'm tired of talking, so please take the mic. It's all yours.
I don't know. I agree with everything you say. I don't know if I have anything to add to the box, but the thing about the box is like I think I was going to say really like I was going to ask like what do you think when Maleficent? Sorry, I'm struggling a lot.
You're good. Don't worry.
When Pete and Maleficent say, the box doesn't exist now, I was going to ask you what you thought was in it, and you answered my question. So
yeah, that's the only, and maybe
what's the chat think is in the box?
What is the chat? Okay, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. We got to give 4 options. Let's end this poll. Okay,
that was a close poll. That was close.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Okay, so. What's in the box? What should our options be? Let's do Book of Prophecies Volume 2.
Ava's Mask. Ava's Medium.
Ava's Medium. Let's do Nothing.
The Player's Medium.
The Player's Medium. I like that's good.
What do you think? I think that's a good poll.
I think so too. Why isn't it letting me add more options? This is awful.
You could do 4, I think, at least.
Yeah,
right?
I did 4 before, but now it's stopping me at 2.
What?
I tell you, like I love a lot of things YouTube does. They do need to work on their chat function a little bit. Yeah, it's only giving me 2. So here, let's do what's in the box. Let's go with
Nothing and Ava's Medium.
Yeah, Ava's Medium. Nothing, although I think the chat was feeling the Book of Prophecies one. Let's go Book of Prophecies versus Nothing.
Yeah, Book of Prophecies. You know, that's the best one. I agree.
Because those are the 2 I like best of the ones we discussed.
Yeah.
All right, gang. Have your vote. What's in the box? Okay. I see Bambina Fofita is here over on the Twitch side of things. How's it going, Bambina? I hope we're chilling. Looks like
I gotta see my.
we've got right now 75-25 in favor of Volume 2. A data world would be interesting. Well, okay, let's go. Another theory I had is that maybe the Book of Prophecies opens a portal between worlds. Another idea I had. And that maybe the reason why it didn't exist.
I have it literally.
Good.
I've heard a theory that it literally is a world. Like, I've heard Day of Daybreak Town. I don't know if you said that, someone else said that, but someone said Day of Daybreak Town is in the box.
Data Daybreak Town. In the box. Then.
Someone said that.
So.
I didn't.
Maybe the box is what allowed Luxu to bring the foretellers back. Let's consider that, right? So maybe the box is what let him bring the foretellers back. And what did you just say might be in the box?
Me?
Yeah, you just said something that might be in the box.
Someone's
Data Daybreak Town.
I don't know if I agree. Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
Data
yeah. I don't know if I
Daybreak
necessarily
Town.
agree with that.
Maybe Data Daybreak Town's data was used to bring them back.
That's possible, yeah.
Because again,
I feel like
go ahead.
I really feel like now that we're talking about it, I feel like what's in the box could possibly have the mediums of all the foretellers.
Yes. Yes.
But that begs the question: why wasn't Ava there? They remember her. Like what? Like maybe they don't have a medium. Maybe they don't have a medium. I wonder what. I wonder if there is other mediums. I wonder what Ava's medium would be to differentiate her not being there compared to the other foretellers.
And maybe she wasn't summoned because she's in Quadratum. That would be the only answer. Quadratum or the final world, like you were saying earlier in the episode.
Right, yeah.
No.
He's looking up.
Wait a minute. No, okay, never mind. Because I was going to say, Luxu didn't use the power of waking to bring the foretellers back. He seemed to do something more conventional. Because I was going to say, Sora used the power of waking to put the heart in Naminé, but that's not what Luxu did. So, yeah, it makes me think. Really makes me think that...
I really think it might be the mediums as in the box. But like, maybe the foretellers, maybe she is in Quadratum. You know what? Maybe she is, because like if the foretellers were dead, and if Ava's dead, why wouldn't Ava get brought back too? Maybe the foretellers remained in this reality and Ava went to
fly off
Ava's...
to another world. Like the seeds of a dandelion, fly off to another world.
A fictional world.
Mm-hmm. I just had something. What if... So now we were talking about earlier, kind of theorizing about the 7 crowns. How maybe, just like there's 13 darknesses he wants to encase, maybe there's also 7 lights. Now, what if the 7 lights are in the box and that's why it's hope? Because conventionally you think light, you think hope. And maybe that's why the master was like, you can never open it. Because this is not the time to deal with light. This is the time we're dealing with darkness. We could deal with the light another time. Like, that's why he's like, you can never open it. And that's why if he whispered in Luxu's ear, like, oh, what'd you put in the box? He's like, I put in Lux. He'd be like, why? Why would you take Lux and put it in the box?
You'll see.
You'll see. Okay, so Art of Me. You know what? We haven't discussed this prospect. So maybe we can get on this. They say my best guess is Ava is within Kyrie's heart. How much credence do you give that?
Is that something that you thought of or something that you've heard?
That's Art of Me 618 in the chat says my best guess is Ava is within Kyrie's heart.
Okay. Okay. Is it on Kyrie's heart?
I
think it's
like the idea
definitely
in theory. I
possible.
just can't think of anything that would allude to it.
Yeah, kind of like with like her being a true dandelion. There's nothing that will allude to that. Some actions and events, sure, but like the root, the start of that potentially being a thing does not exist in Union Cross at this time. But Ava being in Kyrie's heart, man, she would then she would be in two Hawks then, because because Kyrie's heart was in Sora's heart, and Ava's heart was in Kyrie's.
She's hitching a free
Man,
ride. But
yeah, this
if
is like
Ava has
going
blonde
everywhere.
hair, maybe it explains Namine at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely possible.
All right, we've got another super chat from Josh Z coming in. Says, nothing but hope was the same thing that was in Pandora's box after all the misery from the box was accidentally released. What if the master is the one who brought darkness as a whole? It's an interesting idea. So yeah, like this is obviously it's an allusion to the Greek myth of Pandora, right? Very on the nose. Luxord saying the box contains hope. In the Olympus world, while Maleficent and Pete are looking for the black box, they actually dig up literally Pandora's box in Olympus. So this is obviously a Pandora's box wink and a nod. So the idea that maybe the master encased darkness in the box from his old world, brought it to Daybreak Town, let it out in the form of the Dark Chirithy, kept the light in, and had Luxu leave. And there's something symbolic about that, right, too? The master telling Luxu, take the light of this world, put it in a box, and leave so that it can fall to darkness, right? Or maybe the heart, you know how worlds have hearts? Maybe the heart of Daybreak Town is in the box.
Very possible.
Right? Just thinking. But Josh, dude, thank you for that $10 super chat. Can you get some love in the chat? Some love in the chat for good old Josh Z here. Absolutely crushing it.
Try and find some heart emotes.
Master and Sora both bring darkness. Bum, bum, bum. Hope could even be alive. We don't know. Pandora reference, though. Oh, yeah. Third Eye says, what if the box contains the 7 false lights? That would tie into Pride so well. That's what I'm saying. Maybe the 7 lights he wants to encase in the 7 crowns. Maybe that's his angle. I don't know. Rionsuke, what's up, man? Sage of the Lodge. He's in town. Third Eye says, so in Kingdom Hearts 4, we're going to fight darkness. Maybe that'll be the end of him putting it in the dandelions, the remaining 6 darknesses. And then maybe after that, we contend with the light. That would be nuts. And I'd be here for it. All right. Okay, Lance.
You know what I'm hoping for?
What's
you know
up?
What I'm hoping for?
What are you hoping for?
I hope her day of fight sees shapeshifts. Like different like characters we can go and has like a crazy like widespread moveset.
Can you imagine? Like the first time you see like a 3D generated who's a character we haven't seen? Like a 3D generated Skuld is actually Ava shapeshifting into her. As if to just tease you that she's not really here yet. Oh boy.
What if a Dega Ava fight had movesets of the other dandelions? Like she would transform into Skull, she would transform into Ephemera, she would transform into Malusa. It'd be kind of crazy to think about. It'd be like a very and I want it to be unpredictable, kind of like You know me, I love the KX3 data fights. One of my favorite fights ever.
Mhm.
But KX2 data fights were very like unpredictable in terms of like movesets. What if like I think it'd be cool if they like brought an aspect of those fights back in terms of unpredictability, in terms of like un- of lacking a script in their moveset.
Yeah, so it's
Like for
tougher to
example,
read.
Master Zango, one of my favorite fights in the series, but it's a scripted fight. Well, I think it'd be cool if like Ava. I mean, I want this for all the future super fights in the series, but for Ava, I think it'd be cool if they like you have to like learn fight and she would like she would have like different. She would have two different phases, of course.
Mhm.
Like what if like phase one you fought like her as Lorium, right? You have to move that move set, and then the phase
Mm.
2, she transforms into Gold. And there's like a phase 2 for each Union Leaguer that she transforms into. And I think at some point you have to like actually like fight her herself because I mean, I was we've seen her like be a part of being up a Seg before, and she fought, and obviously she classed um clasp legs with Luxu. But I think that could be a really fun idea for them to explore as her like transforming into other dandelions as a part of her moveset. And in addition to part of the fight actually fighting her. I think that could be fun.
I'll say this: if that's true, if that's how it goes down, then I do like her being the true dandelion a little bit more. Again, I still think it's better as Strelitzia, or again, I like your Kyrie theory too. But if she could like transform into all the dandelions, it'd be kind of cool if that is what qualified her to be like the true dandelion.
I would like that too. I would definitely like that. I would say my Kyrie thing is more speculation and not a theory because there's a
Yeah.
lot of like the whole the whole her existing in that time does not exist at this time. But I think it'd be fun if they could make that a thing. And I think I could make a Kyrie's grammar theory fun as opposed to it being a boring theory, like you
Well,
said. I think
yeah,
those
that's what I like about your theory is that it actually makes the whole Kyrie grandma thing more interesting. I think without your theory, Ava being Kyrie's grandmother is just boring. Like she's
yeah.
way more fun than that. Let Freya,
Yeah, see it.
let
Yeah.
Freya
I
from
agree.
Missing Link be her grandma, okay? Like let her be the
Yeah.
grandma. Ava's got bigger fish
Right.
to fry.
Yeah, Ava's from what we can tell, a really fun and awesome character, I feel like.
Mhm.
Very, I think there's a lot they can do there.
That Venom asks, oh, actually, no. He says the foretellers plus dandelion leaders equals 13, right? Correct. And if you include the master. The Shaw brothers asks, do you think the foretellers will take their masks off in Kingdom Hearts 4? I hope so. I really do. Jason Daniel coming in with a $2 super chat says, what if it's a dark side and they fill in the heart? In the box, you mean? Like, what if one of the darknesses, ancient darknesses, that could be it too. That could be it too. Actually, that maybe the 6 remaining darknesses are in that box, and that what the master wants is for the dandelions to be primed and then open the box. And that's why he tells Luxu, you can never open it, because if these 6 darknesses don't have the vessels we've laid out for them, the whole plan is ruined. And that might explain why Luxu doesn't open the box, even though he wants to betray the master, because it wouldn't serve him to just let those darknesses roam free, you know?
Right.
So that's very interesting, Jason. Sephiroth Crescent says, Ava is a lot like the Japanese fox that are tricksters, and they can transform into whatever. But aside from being tricksters, they can be deemed as dangerous based on Japanese folklore. Interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Me
really
too.
like that. I love that username, Sephiroth Crescent. I love that
Sephiroth
name.
Crescent? Yeah.
It
It's
may
cool.
I mean it literally is like I mean, it's literally true, but like that's really, I like that. I like that game.
Hell yes. Okay. Well, Lanz, we're coming up on 2 hours here. We covered everything you
Oh my
wanted to
goodness.
cover today. I know I asked that already, but it sent us into a
I
spiral,
did.
so I'll ask
Well-
again.
What about you?
I think we covered everything and then some. I think we even stumbled on some cool ideas and reiterated some old ones. So,
Yeah.
this was a good time. Kid Q says 3 hours, please. Yeah, honestly, Kid Q, I'll tell you this. When we get a lot of new Kingdom Hearts content, longer form podcasts like that will be more possible, like a 3 hour.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about Ava today, but we've talked about Ava in the Strelitzia episode, in the Connecting Kyrie and Ava episode. We've covered a lot of ground on what's been left behind in the wake of the Dark Seeker saga.
Yeah.
But once we get some new stuff, we'll keep going.
Yes.
Umbra
I'm
says
excited.
24-hour podcast when? When the Landy Lodge, if, and honestly, it's not particularly a goal of mine. It's more of a, if it happens, it happens. But if the Lodge were to ever go full time, I suppose we would celebrate and initiate it with a 24-hour podcast. You can hold me to that, Umbra. You can hold me to that. But I'm much more interested in
Full-time Lodge,
having a good
baby.
time than making this my job.
Yeah, it's more fun to have it as like a hobby than like actually make it your job.
Even if you
I
wanted
think
to
it- I
call
think
it
it
a
was
side
free-
hustle, you know? But when the food on your table is dependent on YouTube videos, I can see that as a very scary world to live in, dude. You know?
Yeah. I think there's 3 different layers of content creation. There's hobby, passion, and job. I'm on the passion side of things these days. I would not want this to ever be like my job personally.
I'm mostly in the same boat. I love podcasting, but it's like, how do I put this? If it could really fall on the podcast, I think I could do it. If it was so dependent on YouTube videos and live streaming video games, I'm not sure. Because the majority of the time I game off stream, offline. I'd hate to feel like
Right.
my well-being was dependent on how much I did that live. So if it were to happen, it would have to pretty much all fall on this podcast. Because I can't imagine. Because the YouTube videos are so fun for me that I feel like, again, if my income was so dependent on it, that it would take some of that fun out. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I think content creation, a lot of the reason we do it is for the fun of it.
Correct.
Although, I mean, we all have goals. That's why.
We all want to
for me,
grow.
it went from
You know?
this went from like a hobby to a passion because I do have like goals I want to reach
Mhm.
in this journey for sure. But I think it's important to enjoy the journey as opposed to being all about reaching your goals.
Well,
The journey to get to your goals is what really makes this a fun ride, in my opinion.
and again, it's all about perspective too, right? It's like, what are you in this for? It's like, don't get me wrong,
Right.
I consider myself blessed for everything doing this adventure has given me. But at the end of the day, dude, like I had you and a couple other guys I met in this space at my wedding.
Yes.
That's gonna be the best
Thank
thing
you
I
for
ever
that.
achieved. That's gonna be the best thing I ever achieved from the Landy Lodge was making friends in this space that would come to my wedding or come visit me and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just like, to me,
That was one of the best weekends of my life.
we had a good time. We had a good time.
It was a really fun time hanging out with you, and then rooming with Treehouse and Guides. We went on some fun adventures when we weren't like at the wedding, and that's a weekend I'll remember the rest of my life. That was such an amazing weekend.
Likewise.
You only get a few of those. You only get a few of those in a year, really.
Yeah.
I got reconnect and the weekend of your wedding. So like I consider myself very, very fortunate for 2023.
Yep. 2023 was a wild one. I see we got guides in the chat. Our man chilling. Which
There he is.
please follow KH Guides, guys. You're missing. If you haven't already,
Subscribe.
you're missing out. big
Subscribe to
time.
Guides on everything on YouTube, on on Twitch. Like I do believe he's my favorite Kingdom Hearts streamer.
He is the
Like
most. He's the most professional guy in the space, in my opinion.
And his videos on YouTube are fantastic. His guides are wonderful. The effort in the editing is on a whole other level. If you like Kingdom Hearts and you're not following K's guides, you're making a mistake. And this is your chance to correct that mistake. This is the opportunity. Subscribe and follow to our friend, Lord Guides.
Mr. Lord Guides. I'm going to go ahead and throw his link in the chat, as I like to do. There you go, guys. Make sure you're following him. Throw his YouTube in there. Faye Litia is here, too. Hello, Faye. Let me get you a shout-out.
Oh, Kyrie is here?
Yes, she just popped in.
Kyrie's...
I'll be there for the next one if it happens. You betcha. Yes,
oh, there she is.
Yes, Sonny, I bet you will. I bet you will, Sonny.
I see Kyrie. Kyrie came back to Tricks today. That was a fun way to spend my morning.
Lanz, cut it out. Lanz gifting a sub to Faye over on Twitch. Cut it out. You're a guest in the lodge. Yes, Josh, we stand by Oroxis in the Landy Lodge. You'll be happy to know that Bio may be back in the lodge rather soon. And, you know, so might somebody else. So, be on the lookout for that. You definitely want to be on the lookout for that.
Tell me after we end.
All right. It's like I want to wrap it up, but I also don't. I'm having a good time. All right. But yeah, let's.
Oh, it's always a good time on the logs, though.
Yeah, we always have a good time.
When was it ever a bad time on the logs?
When it was ever a bad time in the lodge? It's never been a bad time in the lodge. We may have had some hard moments, like Nuzlocke losses in the Elite Four, but it's never been a bad time.
Oh my god, dude!
Dude, I was so close on that hurt me. I was 10 HP away from a Nuzlocke victory.
I felt it.
Oh!
I yelled. I screamed like in real life. Not even gonna lie.
But I have to be. But that's what it's all about. That's why I love Nuzlocks. They like, if you want to play Pokemon and feel like you did as a kid, that excitement, Nuzlocks to me are the only way to get there.
You gotta love the high stakes.
Gotta love the high stakes. Would you ever have a musical stream playing any instruments? Yes, I have thought about that. Like, as you guys know, I've put up a few songs on the lodge. Maybe if I can mic up my guitar correctly, then yeah, we can do something like that. We can have a nice music stream. Okay. On that note, we are clearly spiraling very far away from our title topic here. So we're going to wrap it up. Let's see. Is anybody even watching on Twitch? Is it worth doing a raid? Yes. Okay, we could do one. If you're hanging out on Twitch, we're going to raid Cynic like we always do. He's playing a little Xenoblade. We're going to wrap up this podcast over on YouTube. We got another podcast coming during the week, and then we've got another podcast Sunday with somebody very, very exciting that I know you guys are going to love. Let's wrap it up here. Always a great time showing the lodge. Lanz, thank you so much again for bringing the hype into the lodge. All of you, follow Lanz on YouTube.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, dude, you have an open invitation anytime. Follow him on YouTube. Follow him on Twitch. Follow him on Twitter. We'll be here. 2024 is off to a great start. Love all of you in the chat. Love all the sages. We're wrapping it up. Thank you. Love you. And good night.